Best music.
I love the music.
Best music.
Okay, folks, stand by for part 3 of Higher Frequency with Empress T. Jiggy in the background, a big sweet sound of Mighty Mighty Third World. Right on cue, man. 10:30. These people don't mess around with time. You know. What's a big up? Good morning, Empress. How you doing?
I'm great, Rula. Good morning, everyone. I'm great. I'm excited. I'm ready to talk about today's topic.
Yes, today's topic, indeed, because I know last week you had a powerful show last week, and this is the third week, and I mean, I've placed this up on YouTube, and trust me, people are just gobbling it up. So we know they can't wait to hear what's in store in part 3. So take it away, introduce it, and tell us what it's all about this week.
Okay. Well, just to recap, what I'm doing with the Higher Frequency series is just helping us to think out of the box, to think about different ways of looking at our lives and taking hold of our lives and more direction with our lives, empowering ourselves. So we started out with the spirituality. We talked a little bit about our body, what we need to maintain and sustain our bodies healthily and have all the systems flowing and working properly. Because basically our body is like a machine, but it's a machine that houses our spirit. So we have to take care of it. And at the same time, we have to maintain all of the systems and have the rhythms going. So today I wanted to address our thoughts, so our mind, because we're doing the series in 3 parts. So we have the spirituality, the body, and now the mind. So with the mind, I wanted to talk about the power of our thoughts. Lots of people don't pay attention to what they think about. I believe that I read somewhere that we have close to maybe 60,000 thoughts a day.
How much?
The average person, 60,000 thoughts.
Wow.
The average person. Don't quote me. This is like, ballpark stuff here. Again, my series is to prompt you to go and do your research on the topic. But yeah, I believe it's about 60,000. So you figure that's about 42 thoughts per minute. Now, how many people really actually know what they're thinking about? How many of us normally we just work on like in auto mode? We're like like autopilot. So we get up, right? We wash our face, we brush our teeth, we have our breakfast, we get dressed, we go to work. So we're not conscious about what we're thinking. But however, we're having these thoughts. The thoughts are going on all the while. Now, depending on what you're thinking about, your life is a reflection of those thoughts.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, so that if you're constantly, let's say in a work office, I like to use the office as an example because there's so many different personalities. But usually there's a recurring theme, and I think I touched upon it before with Libra, that when you go to the office, you have that one person who, no matter what, hey, so-and-so, how's your day going? Oh, it's horrible. The ride-in was horrible. That traffic was horrible. No matter what you ask them, it's going to be horrible, right?
Yeah.
Then you have your other person. Oh, how you feeling today? Got these aches and pains. I went to the doctor. No matter what he says, it's the aches and pains are still there. I just don't know what to do. I can't get rid of them. They're always there. They're always there. I always have these aches and pains. Always have the okay. So you have that person now. Everybody's going to chime in, but it's usually a negative tone. That right there exemplifies negative thoughts.
Yeah,
that's what the people think about all day long.
Yeah.
That's what's going on because that's what reflects. That's not to say that you can't have good thoughts with it, but that's the predominant thought.
Yeah. I never thought of it that way, but you are right. Come to think of it, but continue. Yeah.
And you can sometimes you can see what a person thinks about and how they dress, how they their body language. If you're not hearing them, most times you can hear what a person thinks about by the words that they use. And that's another thing. The words and the powers work together. But let me just back up a little bit. And just, I want to explain about thoughts and where they kind of come from. Our thoughts come from in our mind. They're like seeds. It's not really clear like where they come from, but they're there. So we have these ever-present thoughts. And so like what's happening is that they're constantly on the move. They're constantly on the move. And the thoughts, even though they're not real, because it's just in your mind, if you continue to have them, then they evoke emotions, because now your subconscious is hearing these thoughts every day. You following me?
Yeah, we're with you. We're listening.
Okay. So your subconscious now is hearing these thoughts, and it's saying, okay, this is real. So now it's going to attach an emotion to it. Once you attach an emotion to it, it's almost real, because now your body is going to react to that emotion. Uh-huh. And now, so the thought now has gone from your head down to your body. Mm-hmm. So now your body is internalizing the emotion too now. Mm-hmm. You're thinking, oh, I woke up, oh, my back hurts. So the brain is sending down that signal. The thought is, oh, yeah, the back hurts, the back hurts, the back hurts. So all the systems in the body feel and know that the back hurts. So that's what we're going to operate today, with the back hurting. Uh-huh. Now, what happens is when you mix thought and words together, you make it become even more real, because now you've taken it from inside your head and you place it in the real realm. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So, like when you say to someone, "Oh," your wife or your husband answer, "How you feeling this morning?" "Oh, my back hurts." Now you've amplified that thought, because now you took it out from your body, from your brain, from your head, and you brought it out into the world. Mm-hmm. So now it's even more real. And that's the thing that people do, and they don't realize it. So you have people that say, "Oh, I'm broke all the time. I'm broke all the time." And guess what? You know them. You work with them, and they're always broke, right?
Wow, man. What you talking about makes sense. No. Continue, man. Fascinating. Fascinating. Go ahead.
So that what we think now, that's not to say that they might not be. They might be broke. Mm-hmm. They might have a great relationship, but they're broke. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So what you have here is duality of thoughts. Mm-hmm. So that the predominant thoughts are on being broke, right. But when it comes to their relationship, they're clearly having good thoughts of love in that area. Mm-hmm. And so the trick is to get all your thoughts balanced, so that your life is harmonious, so that you're not walking around feeling broke, saying you're broke, and being broke, so that you're not walking around feeling horrible, saying you're horrible, and having horrible things happen to you.
I see. Interesting. Wow.
So it basically, I guess it works, they say, with the laws of attraction, the universal laws, cause and effect. Mm-hmm. So that it's what you're putting out, and then that's what you're in turn getting back. So what I encourage people to do is to be mindful of what it is that they think about the most. If you feel that your life is not going the way that you want it to go, what is it that you think about the most? And start reversing those thoughts. Every time you have that negative thought, catch it, stop it, replace it with a positive thought. You could even just say the opposite, think the opposite. But you have to be conscious that your mind is thinking whether you want it to or not, and that's the first step. And that is, that's what's important. That's what we need to start doing. That's what the topic was for today.
And I hear Sir Keith Anthony in his presentation, when he does come on, kind of focus on the same thought process. If you're thinking of something negative, replace that with something positive and start to work it that way, and things will be better.
But you have to understand why it's going to be better. It's going to be better because a thought takes on a life. even though it's an inanimate object. It's something spiritual. No one sees a thought, but you can feel a thought. When you think of someone that you love, someone maybe that passed away in your life, it evokes a sad feeling, and you feel it. You feel it.
Mm-hmm.
That emotion, you feel it. But it was a thought.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't get hurt. Nobody hurt you. Nobody, stabbed you or anything. But you feel that pain.
Let me ask you this, and I think I brought this up over the last couple of weeks. I, for one, many times, my mind flash on someone, and within a millisecond, I get a call from them. Pick up the phone, is that person, and conversely, is if I give them a call, they said, "Wow, Ula, I just thought about you." Now the question I have. Can you explain how that works? Because before you do the explanation, and like I said, sometimes what happens, say I'm sitting in front of the television reading something, and there's a sentence that says the man is blue, or the man is black, whatever. Once I get to a particular word in that reading, if the television is on, somehow at some point, somebody on the television come up with the same word, and it's like it sync up with the time when I read it. For example, 2 weeks ago, one of my brethren up in Jersey, I haven't spoken, he and I work as engineers together at AT&T. I haven't spoken to him in like 2 years. And it's like an instant I thought of him, the phone rang. It was him. Earlier in the day, Dr. Ev. I just thought of Dr. Ev to call and ask her a question. She was calling me at the same time. So my question is, how does that work compared to what you've just explained about the mind and thoughts and those things?
That operates in the same exact way. Those are like frequencies, because the energy that you emit and the energy that they're emitting, we're all on the same frequency at some point, and with many things in our lives. So it just so happened that frequency was very, very high at that moment for both of you. And sometimes it happens. I can't explain it, but, it has to do with that. And I've experienced that. It's just the same with strangers, even people that don't even really know each other. Like, let's say you have a person that works in a bank or something. They're like, oh, this lady comes in, she always gives me a hard time. The lady always gives me a hard time. Now, the lady you don't know is home thinking the same thing. Oh, every time I go in the bank, I see this lady and she gives me a hard time. Now, their energies are pulling on the exact same frequency. Mm. So it's almost inevitable that they have to meet up. Mm-hmm. Because the intensity, it attaches with an emotion. Something within you, when you have those thoughts, reach deep down in your, in your spirit right there. Mm-hmm. And I just admitted that frequency, got on that same frequency. I can't really explain it, but I've experienced it, and I know exactly what you're talking about. And in the same token, you can think of something and manifest it. You can say, "Oh, I wish I could have that car right there." You see somebody's car, and you never know. The next week, somebody's come and offer you the deal of the lifetime, and it happened to be that same car. But somewhere in your mind, you connected with the desire, with the want, with the thought of it, and it just like generates this energy.
Yeah, wow.
And it really works. It's manifesting things, and that's what the power of thoughts can do. That's why you have to be careful what you're thinking, because you don't know. At the same time, it works in a negative way too.
True.
Because like people that worry. Uh-huh. Oh, I'm worrying about so-and-so. I hope they're okay. And then what do you hear? They're not okay, but that was the energy that was being emitted.
Something. And I could give you more examples. I mean, one of the examples.
But that's to show that it's real. But go ahead.
No, what I was just about to say is I remember my father. I usually take care of my father, and I'd moved down here, so he had gotten so bad. I had to put him in a hospice up there in New York. And I got the call and started to make arrangement to go up to New York within a day. The instant I was in the plane, And at some juncture, particular time, I don't remember if it was like 2:49, something come in my mind, that my father had passed. Do you believe when I went to New York at the hospital, they said my father passed at 2:49?
And it was probably right at the same time.
Right. Same thing with my mother. When my mother passed in Jamaica, it was exactly the same thing. My daughter Laurel just came the day before my birthday, and she had planned it with, the other family members a month in advance. I had no clue, didn't think about it, and nothing was said. I had no inkling. Do you believe the night before my birthday, something came in my mind, and I called her and said, Laurel, what time is your flight landing tomorrow?
What that was her energy. She's probably been thinking of it. And the more you give that thought energy, the more it lives. And so it was really strong for her. That was something that was reaching her emotions. It sends off a lot of signals within and without. So again, that's why we have to be careful of what we think, because we are connected spiritually. It's not just physical. And we have to be responsible. And there's ways that, we can take control of our thoughts. Because some people are probably listening and saying, but I can't stop my thoughts. Sometimes I can't stop thinking that I'm broke, because I am broke. You know what I'm saying? I'm really broke. I work every day, and no matter what I do, I am broke.
Wow.
So, but you can change that. And how you change it is stop. Don't say it anymore. That's the first thing. Whatever negative thing you want to change, don't say it anymore. And then the reverse is true for positive things. Whatever it is that you want or want to improve, say it. Think it. Think about that. Try not to, like when you do have those negative thoughts, don't engage them. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by that is don't argue in your head. You know how sometimes you get a thought, like even now what I'm talking about, I could say to someone, don't say you're broke. So in their mind, they're saying, but you know what, I am broke. I know what you're trying to say, but the truth is we broke, And so now you're arguing with yourself, and you're giving it more power still.
But let me ask you now, Empress. But individuals, persons, over a period of time, that's the mode of thinking, the mode of operation. They're always going to be thinking that way. Is it that easy to change those thoughts to positive?
Oh, definitely.
Really?
Definitely. The first thing you have to do is going to take time, depending on how much strength they have accumulated over time, but it is possible. Okay. And the first thing, like I said, that you have to do is to be aware. Be aware, first of all, that you're even thinking it. Sometimes you think things and you're not even aware that you're still thinking it because you're watching TV, so you figure, well, I'm not really thinking it. But in the back of your mind, you're thinking it. Be aware. Listen to yourself. And then what you can do is snap yourself back into the moment. Because usually when you have those, like, negative thoughts like that, they either stem from a past event or an impending future event. If you can, like, bring your mind back to the moment, and by that I mean, like, if you are watching TV, watch the TV. Shut the thoughts off. Think about the TV. Think about the color of the frame. Replace the thoughts. Think about the name on the TV. Think about what you might want to watch later. You know what I'm saying? So that you're not having those thoughts. And then also, like, try to use your senses around you. Try to feel something, touch something. The moment you feel like it's sinking into a negative thing, touch something physical. Because it changes the energy. It changes what you think about instantly, because it's connecting with your body. Remember, the thoughts generate that emotion. They emit those chemicals, and your body is going to respond to it and everything. So, so that the point is that you have to change the thought as soon as you have it. You have to be aware, but it can be done. It can be done. Watch your words. Always watch your words. Catch yourself. Listen to the people around you. That's what I started doing. And this is years for me now. I started really listening to what people say and how they say it. And, like I said, you could hear who's happy because they talk happy stuff. No matter what, it's going to be happy. My tire blew out, and let me tell you, the nicest guy came and saved me. Now, to a negative thinking person who's always in a negative thought, this is how the story here sounds. My tire blew out. What a horrible day. I can't believe it. It always happens to me. It never fails. You understand what I'm saying? It's the same event.
All
But
right.
the thought process is different.
All right. Folks, and again, we want to say big up to all the listeners on the various network, Ruler Brown Network, CRS Radio, Cabin Radio Show, The Flavor Radio, Foundation Radio Network, 25th Century Scotch P, TuneIn Radio, Mixler, Mighty Radio, Vibes Urban Station, One Harmony Radio, Ustream TV, and Reggae Nostalgia. You're listening to the one and only Empress T with a segment 10:30 every Friday called Higher Frequency. Let me ask you this. Dream. Is there any connection with what one dreams and the thinking, the thought thing that you're talking about?
Yes, those are exactly the same. The differences in dreams, we're not conscious. We definitely cannot control those things, or so they say. Because there's an old news story that I heard about a woman who was having these bad dreams every night. She's having these dreams, and she's running. And she's running, and she's screaming, and she's yelling, she's waking up, not knowing what happened every night. So one night, she decides to, instead of going right like she always did, she turned to the left, but she ran herself into a corner. Now she's running. And the thing that she's running from, she hears it coming now. It's stomping. It's coming right on her. It's breathing. She turns and she looks, and it's this big, hideous monster. And she says, "What are you going to do to me?" And it says, "I don't know. It's your dream."
The dream.
So we still have power of it, but it's a little more free in our dreams. Our bodies are more relaxed. There's a different set of chemicals in operation, so that the thoughts are different. And a lot of times people say that that's when you reach your spiritual nature is in dreams, because it takes you out of this realm. Your body is still here, but your spirit, your mind is still going. And so there's where you have like the pineal gland. People say that the pineal gland is what allows you to do that even when you're awake.
All right, Sister Empress, let me just insert a couple of comments, observation, questions from the chat room. You can pick up on any one of them you want to comment on or pass, but just want to pass it on to let the listeners on the outside know that as you speak, Keith Anthony writes, "Don't state where you are, state where you're going." Royal Low writes, "What I notice is if I get involved in a project and focus on what I am doing, I can delete the negative thoughts." And SWC said that she dreamt her mom last night and it was real. Lightbrock says, "I had a horrible dream last night. Dreamt my wife left me with my son and it was devastating." And Keith Anthony says, "People complain about the rain. I love the rain. It's a big step up from being homeless or hungry, or I love the way it nourishes the trees and plants and want wonderful stuff." And SW went back and said, "I dreamt." She said she's going back to Canada. She passed on 5 years ago. So those are just...
All right, let me see. I'm going to...
All right, folks, it's 10:50.
Okay, someone says, suppose you're really in pain. You can... I'm not saying that I'm not saying that the pain is not real, because it is real. It becomes real. It's an emotion. And once that emotion takes hold, then it does react and respond on your body. So that's why if you can take control of that thought, and this is like ultra Zen stuff here, because they can monitor and alter their blood rate, their heartbeats and all that stuff. So that's really getting advanced in it. But you can take steps toward it. And if you are in pain, then you need to find out, localize where the pain is first. You can rub it. There's things you can do to move the energy out and think positive about it. Because when you think about the pain, the first thing you do is you tense up, because it's pain. So your body's like, it's pain, we're in pain. So you tense up, so you add on. Now you're emitting different chemicals from your body, and all you're doing is adding on to that pain. It's just like kids, when they get hurt, when they see the blood, they really go crazy. But if you tell them don't look away, it's not as bad. They still feel the pain, but it's just not as bad, because they're not, there's not so many of the senses connected to it. You could really be in pain, and that's the truth. But try to, to figure out why and take a positive thing on it. Don't hold on to the pain. But I don't know if that makes sense. And it's not convince your brain that it's not in pain, but tell your brain that the pain is subsiding, like I guess in a way convince your mind that it's alleviating, or tell yourself that it's lessening, that it's loosening, so that you slow down your heart rate, you don't send as much blood there, it doesn't, you know what I mean? The energy can flow correctly. And the thing is not to, don't express it at all. No, you definitely want to express it. Don't hold that energy in. That makes it worse, because then your brain starts saying, oh, I'm in pain. Yes, I'm in pain, but I can't tell anyone. Now you got different thoughts going on, adding on to the pain. You know what I'm saying?
Sister Empress, I just see somebody in the the chat room over in Mighty Radio in England, over in Manchester, England, because you're being heard over there. Sean Z, if I can see this thing. Sean Z says, what if I think about something negative, but in the end, it's an opposite outcome? How do you explain that?
That means that your predominant thought about it really wasn't negative. Somewhere in your subconscious, the predominant emotion attached to it really wasn't negative. And go ahead.
No, man, go ahead. Sorry, man. Sorry, go ahead.
So that's just like like I said, someone being broke, but they got a great relationship, or someone, you know what I'm saying? There's things that go on together, because there's more than one energy frequency. There's more than one frequency.
Wow, that's deep. Wow. Empress, yeah, mash up the people with them doctor.
Wait, I wanted to address a couple more of these things. I'm sorry. Let me just scroll through.
All right, folks.
And envisioning is very good. When you think of children, they always have those imaginary friends, and they have the greatest time with them, because to them it's real. It's real. But what happens is, as we get older, we lose our capacity and our ability to vision things. And visioning is just like thought control. What you're doing is you're setting up the thoughts. You're creating a vision. You're directing your thought. You're giving your mind something to focus on. And the more you build the vision, the more real it becomes. So the more details you add on to that vision, you're giving it more life, because you're adding on more emotion, more feelings to it. So, yeah, if they envisioned goals and fulfilled it, that's exactly how you do it. That's how you manifest and work with the laws of attraction.
Wow.
Let me see. About the bad dream about the wife, do not nurture that thought. Like, that's one of the things that you might have wanted to keep to yourself, because it is powerful. That's a powerful thing. So what you want to do is start thinking of all the reasons why it's not plausible or shouldn't be plausible. Think of all the reasons why you love them and why you need them to be with you, and how ludicrous that dream was.
No.
Reverse that.
Wow.
Because you know how they say dreams come true?
Yeah.
You know why they come true? Because in your dream you felt it, you thought of it.
Right.
Some people have a recurring dream. They think it over, they dream it and dream it and dream it into existence. Not SWA with her mom being dead, but right there, that could be a spiritual message. She might need to go to Canada. Maybe there's some family there. Maybe there's some people there that want to talk to her, that might need her, that might need to see her. You don't know what that is. That could be the mom, you know what I'm saying?
But then again, it could mean nothing, right? Because a lot of times these thoughts probably come in your head, and it's... No
thought is random.
Really?
That part I don't agree with. I don't believe that thoughts are that random. We might not know where they originate from, but it's not random, because we live in this world. We're influenced by so much.
No, I was more talking from the standpoint of a meaning. You're saying maybe, well, she may have to... I'm just saying, does it necessarily mean that there's a connectivity in terms of a meaning?
I believe so.
Oh, yeah?
Yes,
Okay.
I believe so.
Okay.
I believe that everything has a meaning. I don't believe anything is random or by choice or by chance.
Mm-hmm. All right, folks.
Go ahead.
Folks, it's 11 o'clock, and we're going to take some more time with Empress D. She dictates how long she goes on, and that's 11 o'clock. And you're listening to Empress T with high frequency. We're recording this session also. So if you want to pass it on to some of your loved ones to hear the messages, we're going to have it up on Facebook, on Twitter, on Pinterest, on YouTube, and so forth. Continue, Empress T.
So that was really what I had to talk about. That with manifesting things. Let's say there is something that you want to see. You want a particular job, and these are things that I've done in my own life. A particular job you want, and you think about it one moment, and then you dash that thought away. Nah, I can't get it. I'm not qualified, or I'm not. Don't take your thoughts there. You can vision it and get that job. Vision yourself at the place, walking into the building. Even if you have to go and drive by the building to get the real visual information to put in your vision, do whatever it takes to put yourself there. If it, you know what I'm saying, so that if there's a job you want, go and get the clothes and say to yourself, this is the outfit that we're going to wear the first day we go to work. And then you get that outfit and you act as though it's already going on.
So, Empress, generally then, what I'm hearing you saying, if you really and truly think positive, most of your actions and outcomes generally would be positive.
Yes, because your thoughts are going to generate your words. Your words are going to generate your actions, right, and so forth and so forth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and it's for real. Even if you don't believe it, that's negative thinking, and it's okay. But there's no way that our brains are not going to be thinking. Even if you're sedated, the brain is still going. Your conscious mind is sedated, but your brain is you're still thinking. You're still having thoughts.
Now, how, let me ask you this now. We all are faced with stresses day in and day out. Many people. How does stress affect some of these explanations that, the things you're telling us?
Because stress evokes emotion. We really only have two basic emotions, fear and love. Stress is in the side of fear. When you are fearful, your body emits a whole different set of chemicals. Now, I can't go into all the exact chemicals, but you can look it up. Like I said, look it up. Your body emits a whole different set of chemicals. Now, these chemicals have an effect on your body. So that instead of showering it with the positive things that it needs, the nutrients and things, it might be robbing it, depleting it. And so there you're going to have pains, you're going to have aches, you're going to start to develop muscle blocks and muscle tensions. What's the first thing you do when you get a muscle ache? You tend to limp, and you don't want to press on it. You don't want to do anything. You just want to leave it alone. That's the worst thing you could do. You want that energy to flow. You want everything to be back in order, all systems flowing, so that when you're stressed and tense, you're tensing up your body, you're tensing up everything. And it things are not going to be operating in good form. Your mind is not going to be good because now the brain is not receiving the right chemicals to keep it happy, to keep it thinking positive. And so it's like a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
It's the worst thing. It's easy. Some can say, well, it must be easy for her to say that she doesn't stress. I'm not saying I don't stress. What I say is that I am in tune to myself enough to know when I'm approaching either a stressful situation or a stressing feeling, and I try to calm it down and reverse it as quickly as possible. You may be at work and you don't think you can. You can. Take a deep breath. You can always take a deep breath. And that right there will change so much in your body, just that one act.
And it's just the extra oxygen that you're inhaling tends to,
to relieve some of that tension, because when you're tense, it tenses everything. So if you breathe in, then you're opening up all your blood vessels and things like that. Like I said, I don't want to get too technical because you can look this stuff up, but this is stuff that's like almost logical. It has to resonate with a lot of people, what I'm saying. I just hope that those who are in a negative thought, because what happens is they're like, No, my thoughts are not that I'm really broke or I'm really sad or my relationship is really bad and there's nothing I can do or these pains are really real and there's nothing I can do. There's always something you can do. The first thing you can do is these pains are really bad, but I'm going to get better. I'm going to seek help. I'm going to look for help. And I feel a little better right now because I'm on my way to getting help. And keep your thoughts going like that. They say if you hold a thought process for about 17 seconds, it catches hold in your subconscious. So that if you build on your thought, and that's what happens with negative thinking, you're building on that negative thought. So if you have a negative thought or a negative situation with money or your job, if you can place a positive thought right there like a roadblock and then build another positive thought and then build another positive thought and hold that for about 17 seconds or so, they say, you have changed it already.
All right, Empress. I know time is probably running out on you, but not from my end. Let me just give a couple of quick feedback. Over there in England, Sean Z said, I like this presentation. How often is Empress on with this talk? And let me just say, Sean Z over there in England, she's on every Friday at 10:30. This is the third week. So maybe that's why, I don't know if Sean is probably new to the chat room over there. But yeah, next Friday at 10:30, it's a series. It's like a lecture series. As you know, you realize she ties the weeks together. So she has everything all planned out. A couple other quick input to you, Empress. From the chat room, Toronto Queen says, I'm stressed now. Would like to spend more time in the chat room, breathing deeply and smiling, laugh out loud, counterbalance. Royal says, that's a fact. I need a car. And
Royal, you can get a car. Keep thinking that you need a car. What you do is hijack on that thought. I need a car because with a car I can get to work. Or here's a what is this? An ace in the hole, what they call an ace? Here's an ace for you. I need a car so that I can help transport other people.
Right.
Because once you add on the service and the kindness of other people, then you've amplified that thought into a whole different frequency. You've moved that over to somewhere else. And the likelihood of you getting it because you want to help someone else, too, is probably more possible than I need a car because I want a car.
Wow. You know something? Ironic. Keith Anthony said last week, Tuesday, that he had to give a lecture there in England on Wednesday. And guess what? He just wrote in the chat room, Empress T, you are delivering the lecture I gave to 60 people last Wednesday. Can you imagine that? And he says, Empress T, you are okay. He just wrote it back over. And please read my post entirely. I'm not sure what Royal is talking about here. But Empress, you are presenting some nice, great, interesting information to help us.
I wanted to talk about what's going on in the world.
Yeah, man, go ahead.
Because, a lot of people are going to say, well, what about what's going on in the world? That is an accumulation of collective negative thinking. But what's been happening is that people now are getting on the same frequency. It didn't matter how it happened. We all got knocked in, shocked in, scared in. However we fell into that frequency, we are now all on the same frequency when it comes to that. And the proof is that more and more people are getting together. They're protesting. They're speaking out, and they're speaking out together. Yes. And that's right there and a powerful example of the power of thought. And things are going to change. I remember at one point you had said that all is lost. All is never lost.
Right.
All can never be lost. I bet 2 or 3 weeks ago you didn't think that today, that the occurrences that were going on today would have been happening. Because we've gotten complacent and used to people doing nothing. But that's going to change.
Right. Wow. Yeah, man. Well, that is true. And everybody started to think the same way. Then they get a crescendo of positive actions, like people are going out on march. And I hope that these people march for another 6 months. Because I think you start to see now where some of these politicians, the governor of New York has now said they're going to look to change some of the policy in terms of the police, how they operate. The president is coming out and saying that. And it's because the crescendo of people coming out and going out and protest is causing
Yeah,
that.
you can't deny the energy. Last night I couldn't. It resonated with me so deeply what's going on in New York. I was born and raised there. So last night I was feeling heavy. I'm here in Virginia, but I could feel the heaviness. I could
Yes.
feel it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and I don't like to carry around that stress. I'm more hopeful than anything about everything. So I had to shut everything down, shut everything off, and just lie down and redirect my thoughts and know that, you know, everything's going to be all right. I don't operate from fear. I operate from love. I'm definitely a love, emotion-based person. So all of my thoughts, all of my actions are geared and based in love. So I had to reconnect with that loving side of myself last night just to be able to go to sleep because the energy was just so intense. And we have to be careful not to take on other people's negative energy because that's another way that our thoughts get
So you're saying then
programmed.
if your energy or your vibes had picked up that with what's going on now, at some juncture something bad is gonna happen, you'd have been able to tell.
Not so much been able to tell, I could feel the sadness. And so what I'm saying is that we don't want to take it on as sadness. We want to take it on, feel it, but spin it back to love. Have a hopeful. Don't take it on as, oh, this is so horrible. Everything's so horrible, and hold on to it as horrible. Does that make sense?
Yeah, man. Well, I tell you, it's quite an interesting series today, part of the series today. Okay, tie in what you've presented today with, I don't know if you've thought about what you're going to be talking about next week and how it ties in together. Give us a little, inkling.
Well, next week I wanted to talk about our egos. I know that that's something that I keep, bringing up, but it's an important topic because your ego can destroy everything. And, there's people, I guess they're called egomaniacs.
Right.
There's so many egomaniacs running around the world. And what's happening is they're changing the flow and the energy of the thoughts, too. Because if you have an egomaniac boss, they're going to ruin your day. No matter what you try and do, that energy is going to be there, and you're going to have to deal with it. Well, I won't say they were going to ruin your day, but you have to deal with it. Right. And wouldn't it be just better if you didn't have to deal with it, if they could find it within themselves to not even have to go there? So we're going to discuss ego and spirituality and the connection to God and lack of connection to God, and keeping your ego in balance. Your ego can be good and it could be bad, just like thoughts and anything else. Could be good and it could be bad, but you want to keep it balanced so that you're dealing with people the right way.
I want to say big welcome to Roti Strut, the big lovely lady from over there in the West Coast. Wants a big welcome. Before you go, I just want to say big shout out to a number of people in the chat room. There are 18 people in the chat room. I think it's more than that actually. 25th Century, Empress T, you're listening to Hanslip over there in New York City. Jose to James down in Florida. Keith Anthony over there in England. Liebach in Canada. Roti Strut in California. Royal on Jersey. SAA out of GA Toronto Queen. In Canada, gets 0003, gets 7175, gets 1998, gets 4232, gets Mighty Full 13, gets 4589, gets 4585, gets 4570, gets 3266, gets 3259, gets 3241, gets 4072, gets 2900, gets 2944. And our guest people, there are a number of people over in the Mighty Full, on Mighty Radio over there in England. Sean Z, want to say big love to you. And there are other people in there, they're not really typing. Over in the flavor, all the chat room. Again, thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me too, Rula.
All right, give us the final 45 seconds to wind it up. Go ahead.
Oh, that was it. I just want to say thank you that even to have this opportunity to share some of these things with you, has just been really, really positive for me. And I don't know how much of it I had thought about before, but somewhere in me must have thought about being able to do this because it's manifesting.
Right, because the way it all started is, like I say, I met you once 30 years ago when you were on radio and I had my songs out. And you and I reconnected recently. And I think you listened to the show and a couple of things I might have said, you say, no, Rula, you have to think of it more from a positive light. And then once I heard you calling a couple of times, I said, maybe this is the way. And you're a person that action-oriented. I want to keep the thing positive. So I think this is a good mix with the other presenters that we have. We have Keith Anthony comes on a Tuesday at 10:30, yourself on a Friday. We have Toronto Queen on a Monday, and then we mix it up during the week. So again, want to thank you. Like I said, I was asked to join a particular FM station, and who knows if we can work your thing in that also. So again, want to thank you so much, Empress, the one and only Empress T. See you next week, my girl. I know we're gonna see you on Sunday in the chat room on Sultry Sunday Slow Jams. Blessed love. All right, folks. That's yes, indeed. That's the one and only Empress. Don't stress it. She doesn't stress anything. Remember, join us next week. One more 10:30. Empress T with higher frequency.